Hello, welcome to JKEV. I'm Joe.
I'm Christina.
Thanks for joining us today. And what we'd like to do is do a recap of our massive cross country 4,500 mile road trip we just finished. So hopefully you've seen those episodes. If you haven't, be sure to check them out. So today we just want to do a few things. We want to talk about what we thought about the car, what were some things that really went well, what are some things that we wish we knew before this trip happened, as well as at the end we'll do a little FAQ section since there was a lot of comments we received and questions. We'll try to cover some of the common ones and hopefully that can help you with your future EV trip planning, and it'll also help us with our future trips since we all are learning at the same time.
Yeah, we definitely really appreciate you putting your feedback in, and it helps our channel grow a little bit better. We just want to help you answer those questions along the way, so hopefully this video will do that for you.
To start off, our car is a 2021 Volkswagen ID4. It's the first edition. We just picked up the car in April. This is July now. We just got back from our trip. And it's been a great car. We bought it basically as a future family car. We love the 3 years of free charging it comes with. I used to have a Chevrolet Volt. She still has a Kia Niro. So this is our first fully electric vehicle, and it was a hard value to pass up on when we were getting the tax credit, 3 years of free charging. It's basically the same price as a comparably equipped RAV4 or Tiguan. Now, there's something very urgent that we need to talk to you about. Only 5% of you people watching this video are subscribed. 5%, that's right, you heard her. She was screaming right there. And what she wants you to do is click right here.
Yes, please.
And subscribe, because we have lots of content that we have planned. We have a collaboration series that we're working on with regular EV Dad. Be sure to check out his channel as well. As well as we have full car reviews we want to film soon. We want to put the ID4 up against the competitors, compare it to the Chevy Bolt, the Tesla products, the electric Ford Mustang, and the new Kia and Hyundai products that are coming out. So be sure to subscribe and stay in the loop with our future content. So the first topic we'd like to go over is how did we plan our trip? This was our first time taking any sort of major EV trip. We had done a small little 400-mile trip. We'd also done some local around town driving and DC fast charging just to kind of get familiar with how it all works. But to plan out this trip, we used a Better Route Planner. We think that's a very good software. It's free and they're relatively accurate to give you a good baseline of how long is the trip going to take, how much time are you going to spend charging, and where those charges should be, and also how long you should spend at each charger. So we went ahead and, just like back in 2004, printed out directions off of a Better Route Planner, just like MapQuest. And that gave us the rough idea that we needed to help us feel more comfortable going in with this. Although we made our own tweaks along the way, as a Better Route Planner wasn't perfect. There's maybe a charging stop here or there it skipped that we wanted to make sure we went to. Or, sometimes we maybe took a longer stop because of a longer food break and we could skip the next charger. But all in all, it's a very helpful software in planning out the whole trip, since the Volkswagen doesn't really have a comprehensive route planner built into its software. So the next thing we'd want to go over is what are some things that went well on the trip. So what did you think, Christina? What was your opinion of the car?
Yeah, so overall it was really great. I enjoyed, being able to stop for at least 15 to 30 minutes, not a full hour. Like, it's actually really relaxing to be able to come out and also just be able to sleep in it, because I like to sleep on road trips. As you know, Joe likes to record me. But yeah, that was definitely a nice feature. Overall though, it's a very comfortable ride and it's a great road trip car. Like, I am so happy that we decided to bite the bullet and get this vehicle for ourselves. And it's definitely going to help us with the future. So.
Yeah, I thought it was very comfortable. I mean, we used to do our road tripping in the Kia Niro, which is a great car, but this is like a step above.
Oh,
This is like the comfort level. I would put it in more like Acura kind of levels. It's not a full luxury car, but definitely a very premium feel. Although there's a lot of plastics in the cabin, when it's all put together, it goes down the highway very smoothly and very well.
And you get a light show at night, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's the little things.
Yeah, it's the little things. All right, so moving on, what we wish we knew.
So one thing is that the route planning on the factory navigation is useless. It will direct you to 50 kilowatt chargers, even though there's Electrify America chargers there. It'll sometimes even direct you to 6 kilowatt level 2 chargers. So for reference, we should be charging at 125 kilowatts. So that part of the trip planning, we are glad that we used a better route planner to at least give us that baseline of where all the chargers would be. But something else that became difficult is just even searching for the chargers within the nav was quite difficult as well. So we wish we would have almost spent the time to put those destinations in ahead of time. I mean, most of them were at Walmart's, and then we had Google to look up, what the exact address was, so we could put that into the computer. But there were times where we had no cell service, where we're kind of doing more of educated guesses and then correcting the destination as we got closer. So that's kind of on Volkswagen to update that so it's a more functional route planning.
Yeah. I agree. I wish I knew that all of these chargers were at all these Walmarts. It's really weird going to Walmart constantly throughout trips, but it's a charging station, so yeah.
One thing I'll actually say that in my opinion, Walmarts are almost more beneficial than gas stations in most cases, because Walmarts are always going to have a Subway or a McDonald's or some sort of food in there. You can always go in and get endless amount of snacks because it's Walmart. They have it all. I would bet that the giant party size Fritos at Walmart is cheaper than the little snack size Fritos you'd get at the gas station. So it's actually, in most cases, a better deal. Maybe a thing Walmart could do in the future is have coffee shops in some of their locations. That would pretty much solve everything.
Then I would be very happy. I love coffee.
Although they still have the bottled Frappuccinos, which we used many times.
We just throw in a Starbucks and it'll be good.
Yeah. Another thing to mention with the route planning is it also doesn't seem to account for elevation changes. So there was many times that we're going up a mountain. So we're leaving a town on one side of a mountain, arriving at a town on the other side of the mountain, and as we're going up, it says, no, the ID will tell us there's no way we're going to make our destination. Please plan to find a charger. It doesn't know of any available. And then all of a sudden we get to the top, go down the other side and regen the whole way down, and we arrive at our destination with like 40%. So thankfully, Better Route Planner and PlugShare have great elevation tools built into them, so they can help you arrive at a charger with a little less range remaining, since you charge a little better at lower speeds. But ideally, Volkswagen needs to also get that added to their navigation software.
So now we want to go over some of the frequently asked questions and comments you guys provided on the videos. Should I plan my route with campgrounds?
In my opinion, most times campgrounds are a great place to charge. However, in our very first road trip getaway, we ran into tons of issues due to many campgrounds have older electricity infrastructure, and most EVSE charging cables are very sensitive to if the power is not perfectly clean. So we ran into the issue that every 15 minutes or 30 minutes, because it was windy outside, our charger kept stopping and faulting out. So if you need to plan around a campground, I think that's a good idea, but I don't think you should exclusively plan your trip that way. I think it's much better to try to make sure there's level 3 DC chargers along the way.
What level 2 charging cable should I use?
Currently, we do not have one with our car. We had a Moose Start level 2 charger, and we returned that. We weren't sure if that was the issue or if it was we found out after the fact it was due to the campground power. We're looking at the Amazing E plug. That's a great option. We're also considering just getting a Tesla wall connector because we have the Tesla tap adapter to just be able to use that to charge. And that's actually a very affordable option, as a wall connector is only $250 or $300, and that'll have the NEMA 1450 plug and be able to pull 32 amps. There's enough Tesla wall connectors, or portable wall connectors portable connectors out there to show that they've been really tested. They're very reliable and a pretty good charging solution. Also, if you're interested in the Tesla tap, link in the description.
Why not charge to a higher percentage?
So, even though the Volkswagen is a very good DC fast charge vehicle for road tripping, the fact is it still charges twice as fast from 10% to 40% as it does from 40% to 80%. So you say it takes roughly, these are just rough numbers, 20 minutes to get from 10% to 40%. It most likely takes 40 minutes to get from 40% to 80%. It's best to charge what you need to get to the next charger and then charge at that one. Unless the next charger is way off the highway, but in the route that we took, almost every charger was right off the exit in a very accessible location. So it was much faster to just go to every charger along the way. Plus, for us, we kind of like the idea of drive an hour and a half, charge for 20 minutes, drive for an hour and a half, rather than trying to charge for an hour and then drive for 3 hours. We thought it was a much better solution to just keep going down the road.
And what are the charging costs for the vehicle?
So our car has, as with all Volkswagen IDs purchased now in the US, 3 years of free Electrify America charging. If we did have to pay for it, it would basically be pretty close to the same cost as road tripping, like a Tiguan or a Ford Escape or any of those similar sized vehicles. So many people might ask, well, why would you want to deal with this if you had to pay that much to charge? Well, the difference is when you're charging it at home, you're effectively getting the equivalent of $1 per gallon fuel rather than, $3.50 like it is right here in Chicagoland right now. So it may be a little bit of an inconvenience for those couple road trips a year, but you're going to save thousands of dollars on your day-to-day fuel around the house. Not to mention the convenience of you just plug it in the garage and nowhere else. You never have to schedule a gas station stop into your week.
How does the gasometer work?
It's good on flat land, but as I mentioned earlier, it is pretty useless when you're going up or down any sort of mountain or hill. As soon as you start going up a decent-sized mountain, it'll start dwindling down to the point that then it'll say you won't make your destination. And then all of a sudden you go down the other side of the mountain and arrive at your destination with 40%. So that's something that needs to improve. Hopefully with a software update, that kind of data can be updated.
How do you feel about the travel assist?
So in my opinion, Travel Assist is the third best autopilot type of software. Granted, I have not used Tesla's new autopilot since they've taken radar out, but on the prior ones I've used, those have worked very, very well. And then when I had test drove the Mustang Mach-E, I was very impressed with their Ford Copilot 360, which down the road will eventually become Blue Cruise, will be what they'll call it. I thought that was very impressive. With the Travel Assist, sometimes it has its moments. Sometimes it's very good. Other times it can get a little bit ping-pongy, bouncing between the lines. It's very common that if a truck comes anywhere near your lane, the system kind of freaks out, which safety is better than not safety, but I don't know how safe it is when it wants to panic stop and there's a car doing 75 miles an hour behind me on the highway. So ideally there's some software updates that can help improve the way that works. With that said, this is Volkswagen's first try at it, and Autopilot had growing pains. Ford has had growing pains with their Copilot, so it's expected that there will be some growing pains with travel assist.
The actual steering wheel will shake and vibrate if you do step out of the line, like when he was talking about the ping pong motion, which is pretty smart actually.
Yeah, I just wish it had a little bit more audible tones. So, and definitely comment below if you know about a way to enable these. But when someone's in our blind spot and we put the signal on, it doesn't do anything until we try to move over by them, it'll vibrate.
The light will come on the sides of the mirrors.
Yeah, but
as
no,
an orange light, but other than that, there is no actual sound coming out to warn us in any way, which would be really helpful.
and same thing with the drifting out of your lane. I do like that the wheel vibrates, but it would also help sometimes if there's an audible note to kind of go with that, or at least give us the option to turn it on or turn it off. I mean, this whole car is software run, so it should be pretty easy to implement audible tones and give the user the option of how they want to use the car.
All right, and the most important question that has been asked throughout this whole process: when are you going to clean the windshield?
When is Walmart going to start putting windshield fluid at the chargers? The gas stations all have them because they already have them by their fuel pumps, but this is actually a pretty big issue that most public chargers have no sort of bug cleaner anywhere near them, and I don't know that I want to have to carry it around everywhere because I don't want it to leak in the car or anything. So shout out to Walmart, start putting bug cleaner out at your chargers.
With that said, though, we will try our best to maintain the windshield so you guys can have a better view, but we do appreciate the feedback.
So with that, we'd like to remind you to click that subscribe button, smash the like button, and stay tuned. We have lots of content planned. We're going to be going to the auto show soon, so we're going to go check out a lot of EVs there. Hopefully do some test drives and reviews on the other competition out there and do some side-by-side comparisons. We're also going to have some general ownership reviews that'll go a lot deeper into the car, go into the infotainment, and what it's been like to own for the first 5,000 miles. And yeah, we plan to keep regular updates coming, so be sure to subscribe and take care.
See ya!